This is happiness, to be everything at once. Be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Mood Prep. My name is Dave Nixon, and we're going to go through today some prerequisites to learning. This is one of the things that I find very useful to remind myself, but also that I see in a lot of other people, especially from a gym setting, is that a lot of people often get frustrated and with either trying to, learn a new skill or push their boundaries, pursue their goals. And there's a whole range of reasons why this may be occurring. It could be the idea that they are sort of viewing the world from a static mindset rather than a process mindset, and see this event as a failure, as mistaking themselves as a failure, as opposed to seeing that the process of, stumbling over is just, integral to the development of themselves. So a couple of the things that we often forget or we mistake for something else, right, is realizing that frustration, confusion, and struggle are all prerequisites to learning. So let's look at the word confusion, right? That's probably the biggest one here, really, is that confusion sort of is the prerequisite to learning because it is before things are fused, right? If things are fused, then we understand them, they're all connected, it all makes sense. But to learn something new, we must not already know it mustn't be fused. So if something's confusing, it means usually that we're about to learn something. Now, often we get frustrated with that as well, and sometimes we, maybe mistake our confusion for frustration, and, we struggle towards trying to figure it out. But what we really, truly need to understand is looking at this struggle, frustration, or confusion as the important steps that lead to the outcome. And it's easy to get caught up in the game of, it would be nicer if, we didn't have to go through that process, but then it wouldn't fucking be worth doing. Then no one would, everyone would do it, which means that no one would do it because it just would not be worth doing in the first place, and they'll find something else to pursue in the sense of something that challenges us and pushes us to our limits. So understanding all of this, it's giving ourselves permission to be able to give ourselves space to really sort of see ourselves in our confusion, and understand that it's by moving through our confusion, it's by moving through the struggle, that the fallibility, the falling over, the stumbling, all that, it's in the frustration, that by being able to understand what this is pointing towards and what we can learn from this, that's actually how we grow and develop. If this is the cliche example of, you only grow outside of your comfort zone. It's like, this is what it's referring to. And when really looking at that, it's kind of like, it is very cliche to say you grow out of your comfort zone until you put someone outside of their comfort zone, and then they start flipping. But it's like, this is what we want. It's of course, it's simple to say you grow outside of your comfort zone and you go do something that's scary. That's great, but really truly defining what's scary for ourselves, what's confronting for ourselves, is the ability to have like brutal honesty. But also, that's where bravery is really developed, because it's in the things that challenge our ego traps that have been so patent for such a long period of time, that when we see something that helps collapse that, we often, resist it. I remember hearing this quote, and it was about religion, and it was from a movie or something. But if you're religious, bear with me. It's just the example, and they said, if you try to kill him in order to save them, they'll kill you in order to save him, right? But the thing is that let's take that out of the religious concept for the moment. Let's look at that from an aspect of if our ego structures and our personality structures that we've built to try to understand the world and save ourselves from the horrors of the world that we had when we were younger. It's like if we try to collapse these in order to save ourselves, the ego wants to be able to save these, in order to collapse ourselves. It's a kind of thing where what we most fear is what we need to move most towards. And often we deal with fear very differently. I mean, some people deal with fear by distracting themselves. They don't even know that they're doing it. They get anxious and they start distracting. Some people might start just trying to organize and plan. Some people might just start trying to help people. We all have a different level of fear that our ego structures have built. And often these are from childhood patterns. And this is one of the reasons why I like the Enneagram, not just for the reason of, it doesn't just type us. It actually allows us a pathway to being free of that type, because the word personality, like as I mentioned before, comes from the Greek word persona, which means mask. These are the masks that we wear to deal with reality. It's the things that we have learned. Now, there's a certain level of temperance that goes with that from being born, as in nature, but the rest of it's nurture. And a lot of the time it's just from learning how to react and understand the world. And so we all deal with these ego structures and prerequisites to learning differently. But if we we give ourselves space to be able to see these for what they are, and then more importantly, once again, see them for what they're not, we start to use these structures, we start to use these lessons, we start to use these prerequisites to help unlock our true potential. Now, often that can get caught up in this corny sense, but the thing is that as long as you're stuck in your personality, you cannot lean into your true potential. As long as you have the rat race and all that going on in your mind, and the justifications and the layers of judgment, or maybe the trying to please other people and all these sorts of things that we have been taught and taught ourselves. I'm not saying it's fucking easy, because it's fucking not. But if that's what you're in pursuit of, you can't do it whilst maintaining the pleasures of your personality at the same time. And for a lot of people, that's confronting. But that's the whole joy of it as well. That's where the personality comes into it. It's just is what it is, as silly as that sounds. And all the things that we think we need, it's like, well, probably not, right? And the deeper search behind our behaviors is something worth inquiring into if you are ready for it, because what lies on the other side of it, on the other side of that fear, isn't a trap. On the other side of that fear is freedom, but most people will never know. Team, that's it. I'm out. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you got something out of this episode, and if you did, it would mean the world to me if you would pass it on to someone else that you think would also benefit from this episode. And if you haven't already, jump on Facebook, search Mood Prep Online, join the group in there, and also making sure that if you are a PT or a coach or a trainer, then check out the Coaches Circle. You can find that at davidnixon.com.au/memberships. Otherwise, team, I'm out. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until tomorrow, peace and pizza, kick today in the dick, slay the dragon. I'll see you soon.
To be everything at once, be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.